Hi again and welcome to the Stouting Off podcast, where we spout off chit-chat about the everyday. Hello again and welcome to the Stouting Off podcast. You like the little cheer that I threw in there? I can do that now that I have the controller that I set up. So that's cool. My name is Drew Stoutenberg, and it is of Dutch heritage. It's because my ancestors actually immigrated here back in the 1500s from a village in the Netherlands called Stoutenberg. Did you know that? And I'm going to ask my producer, Jordan, who is with us here live remotely. Did you know that?
I did know that.
Because I've said it before on the podcast, right?
Yeah, we've talked about it.
I know. I knew that, actually.
The funny thing about this podcast is...
history repeats itself. My nickname is History.
No, we're adding value to people's lives, man. You added value to my life maybe months ago about that, and I retained the info. That's
right, man. Did you like the idea that my nickname is History? Because I repeat myself? Hey, that captures like the spirit of like a pickup line, kind of, you know, like,
yeah.
Are your legs tired? Because you've been running through my mind all day. Somebody comes up to me, is your name History? Because you've been repeating yourself. A podcast critic writes that as a review somewhere.
Dude, that's
you might as well
so
call this guy
funny.
History. Anyway, love this thing. So, welcome everybody. It's episode 43. Wow, the time is flying. And it's been about a year or so since we started. I think we started did we start September, October?
I thought it was August.
September or August. It was August, you're right. So we're 13 months into this thing. Took a 6-month sabbatical, and we're back in on season 2. And what?
We've been doing this for about a year. We took about a half year off.
We've been doing this nonstop grinding for a year, the exception about half a year that we took off. But it's been really nice, and thanks for everybody who's supported the podcast, who's listened, who's shared. And before we even get started with the important stuff that I want to discuss today, why don't you subscribe to our podcast? You know, and it really helps us if you can subscribe on Spotify and or Apple and YouTube. Some people, Jordan, I don't know if you knew this. Some people actually just listen to this podcast and they didn't even know that we have a video portion.
Yeah,
they didn't know that we do video. Yeah, it's wild to me. In my opinion, I don't like podcasts if I can't see the person who's speaking and see that they have a mustache. That's new.
You do have a mustache, don't you?
Did you notice that?
Yeah.
You noticed? Also, hit the keyboard. Also, in episode 41, some people were like, dude, are you just wearing underwear? Are you just wearing boxers in the chair? I'm like, no, these are clearly shorts. These are different shorts than I was wearing. But, y'all, I'm not going to show up to work in just my underwear, all right? I'm going to show up to work in shorts. Because this is basically Google, you know? This is basically Google in 2012 or so when they came on the map and they were like, yo, here's our office in Silicon Valley. We don't have a dress code. You just show up to work in whatever you feel most creative in. And guess what? I feel most creative in 7-inch inseam shorts, sometimes 6.
Yep.
But never 8 or longer. It's too long.
You ever tried a 5 out?
I have. I'm pretty sure I have. I've
only
worn
done
shorts before and just been like, they're a bit short, but I usually just go for it. I wing it.
Yeah. I have a bathing suit that's 5. And it can be a little short.
I bet. That's almost verging on like Euro trunks.
Yeah, they're
Euro trunks, like what James Bond wore in a couple Bond movies ago.
Yeah, I mean I bought them from H&M, and there you'll have it.
That means H&M. So that means that they'll endure one wash and then they just won't fit right ever again. Right? Yeah. H&M, love you though, for real. Love your skinny jeans. I don't wear their denim jeans. I just wear their twill jeans.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep.
Love them. I have some of their denim. Anyway, but their shirts and stuff don't usually fit me. Speaking of James Bond, did you know that the next Bond movie, the main character, the protagonist, the James Bond, I don't know what the name is going to be, but it's a black woman. Isn't that interesting?
Huh.
In the Bond franchise. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know what they're going to, like, what the person's name's going to be. I don't know what her name's going to be.
It's going to follow the James Bond series? Why wouldn't they just make a new movie?
Yeah. Yeah, right. Like new character. But you can't. Yeah, can you find out the thing?
Yeah.
Well, I check my Instagram story to see if she's looked at it. No, she hasn't. Okay, cool. And so what do you got there, Jord?
Lashana Lynch.
Okay.
Will play the first black female 007 in the James Bond movie No Time to Die.
Makes sense. That makes sense then. Like, it makes sense in the sense that she's going to be Agent 007, but her name's not going to be James Bond. Right? Is that what you're saying?
I think so, yeah.
I don't want to draw too many assumptions. Don't want to make too many assumptions. But anyway, yeah. You know, something
Lynch's character, Nomi, is a 00 agent who entered active duty after Bond retired following the events of Spectre.
Oh, totally.
And there we have it.
Okay, then people who are actually overreacting about that and being like, there can't be a female Bond, there can't be a... Like, she's not James Bond. She's Agent 007 who's carrying on the legacy.
Yep.
I'm fine with that.
Yep.
I'm fine with that. Kind of speaking of that, I thought of this maybe last time I was listening through the episode, Jord, is, you know, a lot of people are saying a lot of things right now. And there's actually a lot of, right? There's actually a lot of messed up stuff going on in the world right now. And there are a lot of important things going on in the world right now. There are a lot of heavy things. And trust me, just because Jordan and I don't discuss that for the most part on this podcast does not mean that it's not something we're really aware of. And what I'm getting at is this podcast, like there are enough people talking about the important stuff already. So this podcast isn't about weighing in on the actually important stuff. This podcast is kind of what you can not escape to, but it should just feel like catching up with friends. You know, and I hope I can be your friend. Am I your friend? Am I your friend, Jord?
Yeah, you're my friend.
You like how I spun 2 questions at the end there? You know where I'm going with questions, man. Whenever you don't know what to say next in a conversation or in any capacity, throw a question. Gets the attention off you, even though it's my podcast and the camera's on me and I'm the only person in frame. My boss taught me that. He's like, Drew, if you ever just don't have anything else to say about something or you're just ready to deflect the attention to somebody else, ask a question.
That's because he's the smartest man alive.
My professional mentor. Love him. Loved Jim. And his name is Jim. He also says, and this is so true, anyone who has, and before I share the lesson, anyone who has been in my life for any period of time has probably picked this up from what I do. Half of it's instinct, half of it is just kind of like conversational skill / remembering this in the back of my mind because it's true. Whoever is asking questions in the conversation is the one who's in control of the conversation. And I actually believe that's something I've said on the podcast before too, right, Jord?
Yeah.
History.
Repeats.
Myself. And so, but anyway, guys, all that to say, this podcast is like recess, okay? It's like where you can run and you can play ball with your friends, and then you can go back to class and you can go learn about the important stuff. But out here, we're actually forging lifelong bonds too. If that's one way you want to think about it. Personally, it's a way that I want to think about it.
Me too.
Yeah. And we're oh man. Memes are funny. Right as I open my phone to like look at what we're going to talk about next, there were stupid memes on there from S-Head Steve on Instagram. I mentioned on episode 42 when my power went out while my white noise machine was going at 4 a.m. and it woke me up. The silence was deafening and I snapped up out of bed like Dracula out of a coffin. I didn't mention this during that, but I was like, well, how the crap am I supposed to fall back asleep if I don't have my white noise machine and it's 4 a.m? So I pull up the white noise machine app on my phone, and it's had a couple updates since the last time that I used it. But it said, make sure to subscribe. The developers of the podcast have a little advertisement on there that says, make sure to subscribe to our white noise podcast.
Huh?
Now, what could that be? What could it be about?
Just two white noises talking to each other.
Wow, actually might listen to that thing. Might fall asleep to that. White noise podcast. Truly, truly, what could it be? And I don't even have anything to riff off on that. It's white noise is what it is. It would be like a sound effect podcast. It would be like a bell ringing podcast. Bell ring podcast.
Maybe they took it like deep and went through like the psychological effects of white noise and what it does to you when you're sleeping.
Dang.
Maybe.
Dang, that's a good hypothesis. Maybe after we button up this recording of this episode 43, I'll have to toggle over to whitenoisepodcast.com and listen to them.
Yeah.
That's not their website.
I mean, our life is podcast, so
it is.
It's one after another.
I mean, just because we're the greatest podcast in the world and the most successful doesn't mean that we can't support other artists out there like ourselves, other content creators.
Yep. I noticed something in your hand that looks different.
Yeah. So if you're watching the podcast, obviously you can see what's in my hand. It's a whiskey glass. If you're not watching the podcast and you're just listening, in my hand is a whiskey glass. And I have a friend who, a friend of a friend, bought a storage unit, like Storage Wars style, like unseen contents. Was just like, yeah, I'll buy this one. I don't know if he bought multiple or what. But inside this particular storage unit that he purchased was thousands and thousands of dollars worth of bar glassware from a failed startup bar here in Nashville. And I think COVID kind of stifled their plans, or actually ultimately canceled their plans to open a bar, but they had this storage unit with just cases and cases and cases, dozens of cases of beautiful glassware by this German glassware manufacturer called Riedel. It's Riedel. Yes. It's machined crystal glasses made in Germany. So you know it's good. And I bought a case of them, and I sold off 6 of them at the cost that I bought them. Sold off 6 of them to friends, and then I'm keeping 6 of them. But sold them to me at a fat discount, which is nice.
That's tight.
It's cool. It's very much like, I don't know, just like that 1920s era.
Yeah, it looks like a Mad Men.
I just picture Don Draper. Yeah.
Yep.
It's nice. So it's really cool. It's got a nice weight in the hand too.
What do you think the tasting differences are between the Glencairn and the glass? Like, are you enjoying it just as much?
I am. It's nice because this isn't as good for nosing. Like the Glencairn, it has a narrow nose on it, so it directs the just the fumes or the aromas, the vapors better. But this also is still narrow enough so where it doesn't all escape, because this is actually a neat glass. You couldn't really fit. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it's a bit small to fit like a big cube in there, for example.
Okay. That's really cool, man.
It's nice. Yeah, it's nice. Let me know offline and this is just for Jordan, not for the listeners, but Jordan, if you want any glasses, let me know offline and I'll get with my glass dealer.
Sweet.
You know?
Yeah, that's great.
So it's cool though. It's nice. Thanks for noticing that, actually, Jordy. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yo. Have you caught? I'm sure you have, because you don't live under a rock. Have you caught this new milk crate challenge? Have you seen some of this stuff?
Yeah, I've seen a couple.
I've only seen people absolutely like obliterate their spines and stuff doing this.
For sure.
Because it just always kicks out and they fall and bend fall pretty dramatically onto milk crates. But I did see one person successfly do it. And you know who that was? It was actually the mascot for the Indianapolis Colts in mascot costume. He did it like a big horse, like a big blue horse costume. He did it. But yeah, what would possess somebody to do that, Jordan?
No idea.
It's something we would do if we were 15, exactly 15. If you're older, you're too mature. If you're younger, you're too scared. But it's what a 15-year-old would do.
In the back of a Kroger parking lot with the only thing available to play with being milk crates.
Yes.
Let's
Great
do
Depression
something
era.
dumb.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Like, one, where are they getting them? And
yeah, where
two,
are you getting crates? You need a lot. You need a lot of crates.
Yeah, dude.
Only dairy farmers can do it. Only dairy farmers. Makes sense. All right, got it.
And stock personnel. I don't know.
Back in the day, my brother, when we were both in high school, which was only 1 year when we overlapped in high school. He was a senior, I was a freshman. He had a cool Jeep Wrangler, and we would drive, or he would drive, but we would get in his Jeep. He would drive to the Toys R Us that was located at the corner by us. And RIP, by the way, Toys R Us.
Mm-hmm.
I have another Toys R Us comment, and that I'll make after this point initially. He would drive to Toys R Us, and then in the back there would be, or like behind the store, you know, where there's just like the dumpsters and stuff. Obviously, no parking. We'd find a shopping cart, and he would like get behind the shopping cart in his Jeep and push it to like 40 miles an hour, and then we would have it crash into curbs and stuff. And I thought it was the coolest and most like, it would like adrenaline veins filling experience ever.
Yeah, dude. It's the small things back then.
Yeah, simpler times, man. I don't know if I had a cell phone at that time or not. Do you remember back when you wanted to SMS text message someone, you would have to like sign on to the internet?
Yeah.
You would have to like if you wanted to, you'd receive a text and you'd open it on your phone like an email, and it would be like, okay, be there in 5 minutes. And then if you wanted to reply back, it would have to sign on to the internet. It would have to like communicate with space.
Yep.
That was only like 15 years ago, man.
Yeah, it's really nuts. I mean, do you remember when texts were 5 cents to send and 10 cents to receive?
I don't, but it was probably in that era.
My mom does, because I would use
That's what I was
going
to say. That's what I was going to say. I personally wasn't paying phone bills back then, but man, I remember the first text message I got. It was from my girlfriend in 10th grade. I remember her phone number. I remember seeing it pop up on my phone and everything and being like, what the heck is this? Almost like did I sign us up? Like that feeling of like, did I sign up for something online with my mom's credit card or something? Like, what is this? Why am I opening it like a book, by the way? Turn a page.
Maybe it was like an NV3.
True. Loved the Envy.
Me
Loved
too.
the Sidekick, the Motorola Sidekick.
Yeah.
Had it for just a while. It was like the preferred phone for MySpace. Like you could browse MySpace on it, which was pretty ahead of its time to be able to browse on a phone. You know?
Yeah. I saw this funny thing online where just off that topic, the same topic.
Yeah.
I saw this funny thing, like it was Instagram or Facebook or whatever it was, and it was like things that kids in the 90s would only understand.
Yeah,
and,
only we would.
And it was like a Nokia brick phone, you know? I don't remember the actual name of it, but I just remember it being called a Nokia brick.
The one with the snake game on
with
it.
Snake game, yep. And there's an
game.
SMS going out to someone, and it's like, miss you so much. Can't wait to see you next week. This is my mom's phone. Don't text back. Or like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Or like, call me after 9 p.m. when it's free.
So true. So true. I remember emailing with the girl that I liked over the summer in 8th grade. Like, that was how we were communicating, because she wasn't at home where her computer was, where we would normally chat on AIM. AOL Instant Messenger. So she was away at like her grandparents for the summer or something, and we could only communicate over email like every few days. Dude, I would be signing on to the internet with dial-up and being like, did I get anything? Did I get anything? And then, you've got mail. Yes, dude. Yes,
Yep.
yes.
Yep. And there were no subscriptions back then. It wasn't Dropbox sending you updates. It wasn't like Postmates saying, here's 5% off. The 37 spam emails that you get now didn't exist back then. If you got mail, it was from someone special.
It meant something. That's right. And the internet was a place that you go to back then. It wasn't just like grafted into our lives. It wasn't just like a part of our existence. The internet was a place that you would go to. You know, people even had internet cafes where they had computers where people would just sign on and surf MySpace.
Yep.
Pretty wild.
The internet's funny, man. My father-in-law had a big family meeting when the internet was just breaking out.
Calling together the family.
He called everyone to the kitchen table, and he's like, I want to tell you guys something. I discovered this thing called the internet. And that's when life changed for everyone.
Everything changed. Somebody replied back to my Instagram story from Stouting Off where I posted with the mustache.
Yeah.
She goes, yo, the stash is a look. Thank you. Thank you, Amanda.
I honestly know what frame I'm using for this thumbnail.
You do?
Yeah,
you already know. Hey. I didn't say it. I'm just reading somebody else's words. Last Toys R Us story. Like we've just been going on about Toys R Us for 15 minutes. The second Toys R Us thing that I wanted to say was, man, I have a couple friends, Clark and KK. They have a cute little daughter, and they're back home visiting in Minnesota. They're visiting family right now. And KK, she posted a video of her daughter, who's like 2 or 3, going around the toy store or the toy department at Target and like playing on all the toys and picking up toys that she thought was cool and stuff. And it like snapped me back in time, because going to Toys R Us back in the day when you were a kid and toys were exciting to you, there was no better place on earth than just like going up and down those aisles, looking at the toys and like getting, for us, it was like, you can pick out one toy. And it was like, how am I supposed to pick one action figure when there are 12 Spider-Man action figures alone, just like in different colorways?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But like the joy she was experiencing of like turning down an aisle and being like, oh, like excited. It's magical, man.
Yeah, that is.
You got kids. Like when you guys go to Target and you look at toys, you see the magic, you know?
Yeah. I saw the Magic Man. I saw the Magic Man.
Datsuk. Pavel Datsuk. Saw him play in his heyday.
When we go on a road trip, which we're all packing for right now, by the way, not for a road trip, but when we go on a road trip, like let's say when we were in Nashville, just going up to Michigan.
Not for a road trip.
We're just packing.
Just for fun.
We have to like stretch the kids' legs because we feel so terrible for them being in a car seat strapped in for the same amount of time we are, but with like the inability to move. Like they can't readjust. They can't adjust. They can't adjust or readjust.
They can neither adjust nor do it again. And not to mention, you can't tell a 2-year-old it's just going to be 3.5 more hours. Like they don't.
Yeah.
They don't have any.
Yeah.
Frame of reference for what 3.5 hours is.
We put it in.
For me, I'm like,
Jude's
I can watch.
Yeah, go ahead.
I can watch Independence Day and then the beginning part of another movie. I think about 3-hour increments as Independence Day.
Yeah, I think of it as the Titanic.
There you go. Never saw it, but you were saying.
So anyway, we get to this like, well, it doesn't matter where we are. We have to like get them out, and so we take them into like a rest area or one of the truck gas stations it's huge and it's got a bunch of stuff and power inverters and all the stuff, but it also has a stuffed animal aisle. And so now my kids don't know road trips without stopping at one and getting to pick one thing from there. Problem is it's a Beanie Baby that costs $24.99. and we cannot leave without something in our hands.
Yeah. Those on the Ohio Turnpike, like if you're ever going east-west through Ohio, they have some cool truck stop, rest station, super station type places there.
Yeah.
It's nice. Although I don't know their stuffed animal inventory. I haven't looked in recent years, but I'll have to
Well, you'll
take
have
a
to
peek
check
next
it
time.
out.
Yeah, I'll take a peek next time I pass through. Next time I pass through. Oh man. I have a segment I want to go to. But first I'm going to grab the keyboard thing and let me see if I can remember which one it is. Okay, guys, here we go. For the next segment, I want to go into what's Drew been watching. That was the wrong one. I'm booing myself. Let's go into what's Drew been watching. Drew, come on, man. Figure it out. I got to like label these.
Yeah, get a label maker out there.
I'm going to get a label maker going. Or, yeah, I'll strategize offline. But anyway, I watched this cute show the other night called Growing Up Animal. It's a National Geographic show on Disney Plus. And it's about baby animals and what the mother does, like, to whatever the species is, what the mother goes through to give birth to the animal, and then like what the animal's first like year or so of life is. And you know how animals are, like their first year of life.
Yeah.
They're basically like a 10-year-old at the end of the first year. So you actually get a good glimpse of their life. A 10-year-old kid, I mean, like 10-year-old human, because they just mature faster and they don't live to 70, 75, 80 or 100 like that lady's grandma 2 episodes ago that I mentioned. But in the first episode of the show that I watched, it was two little bear cubs, man, named June. Oh, Jord, can you Google this for me? What was the other one's name? Growing Up Animal, grizzly bear cubs, June, and who was it, Jordy? Let's spend 7 more seconds on this. If we don't get it, then it's okay. Ultimately, the names of the bear cubs isn't going to affect what I take away from the thing.
Man.
While he looks that up.
Yeah, I'll get it.
Maybe June wasn't one of them. Maybe I messed it up. But anyway, maybe you guys just have to watch Growing Up Animal episode 1 with the 2 little cute bear cubs, and everything they do, they just emulate the mom. Like they see how the mom fishes and they see how the mom like grooms herself, and they walk where she walks. They just do everything that she does.
You okay?
Excuse me, dude. And it was just a cute show. It's a really cute show, and
Charlie?
that's what June and Charlie?
Charlie the bear cub learns to live in the wild. It can't be that one.
Growing Up Animal.
Well, here's the thing is like the episode guy is growing up lion, growing up tiger, growing up elephant, growing up cheetah, growing
What
up
about
wolf.
the first one, Growing Up Grizzly Bear? Are you on Disney Plus? .com? We're going to come back to that.
Yeah, I'll find it.
This is going to haunt me in my sleep tonight.
It's going to haunt me too, yeah.
Anyway, that's what I've been watching. It's a great show. We love it. And I also recently watched Interstellar as well. No one told me how good of a movie that was. Actually, just kidding. So many people have told me that it's their favorite movie of all time.
Oh,
have you ever
really?
seen it?
No, I've never seen it.
Interstellar. Christopher Nolan directed it, and he's also done some pretty amazing films. I think he did the Batman series, like the reboot, and he did he just did some other stuff. All right, man, just trust me on that. I just don't know. I would know if I heard the other movies that he's done, but his movies have a particular. Oh, he did Tenet. Are you looking up his credits? No.
No. But we've talked about Christopher Nolan before.
We have. Oh, have we really? Well,
Yeah.
that's why
Wasn't
they
this the
call
one
me.
you saw in theater that you got distracted at?
That was Tenet.
Yeah,
When the
that's
guy
right.
was talking in my ear
Yeah, that's
and he
right.
smelled,
Yep, that's right.
and the movie itself I couldn't keep up with, but it did receive critical acclaim, and praise. Anyway, Interstellar was a good movie. I won't spoil it, but it was pretty trippy and cool. Oh, you want to hear another exciting thing in my life right now?
Yeah.
I love the cold foam cold brew from Dunkin' Donuts. And one time when I was in York, Pennsylvania, about a month, maybe 6 weeks ago, I got every morning that I was there, which was 3 mornings, because I was visiting my brother's family, my brother and his family, and every morning that I was there, I would go to the Dunkin' Donuts around the Dunkin' around the store, because they drop donuts, because they're just called Dunkin' now, and America runs on them.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
Sometimes I get so many ideas at the same time that I just want to say all of them, and then I start speaking it literally 3,000 words per minute. So I'm going to slow down. But anyway, when I was there having a cold brew, I peeked behind the counter to see what was the cold foam that they used. And it was just this can of Ready Whip, but it's like made for the coffee environment. And I went to like 4 stores around here, around my home, to find it after I got back, and I just couldn't find it. So 2 days ago, I finally wised up, and I was like, I bet I could get Amazon to deliver some of this stuff, because if anybody has it, it's going to be them. Sure enough, they had it. They delivered it yesterday, and I have been drinking so much coffee just because I'm topping it all with this amazing sweet foam, like they call it. Yeah, I think sweet foam maybe. I'll
That's
send you an
awesome.
image of it, Jordan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
sweet.
so good. It's in a brown can. It's so good. If anybody wants to just like give a little lift to their coffee experience, because I tell you, Jordan, like I've tried like normal Cool Whip on my like cold brew and my iced coffee before. It doesn't mix right. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't it doesn't associate well. But
Right.
this stuff like melts down like cream.
Oh, that's really nice. Have you ever
Like-
tried to make your own whipped cream?
No, but I think it's just as easy as getting whipping cream and whipping it, right? With a
Yeah,
whisk.
some vanilla. Yeah.
Have you done it?
Yeah.
Respect.
That's what we do here in the McMillian household. For all things fall and Christmas.
And beyond. Yeah.
Well, I'll bring out like the espresso machine and start making like the lattes and stuff like that during the cold months. How are you going to do that with the Cool Whip can whipped cream? You can't. It's got to taste like icing.
Bro, you got to try my
Has
new
to.
stuff. But
Yeah, I will.
yours is probably better, to be fair.
Well, you
But
know what
this
I'm
stuff is-
talking about, though.
Yes, I do.
You just kind of smash the same Cool Whip stuff in your coffee because it doesn't work. And same thing
Right.
for lattes, doesn't work.
It's so true. It's so true.
Yeah, I would be interested in trying this. Monica would probably really like it because when I drink regular coffee, or hot coffee rather, I don't put cream in it. So like,
Oh,
but she does. She's a big
I am
fan
too.
of
I like the cream. I like the cream stuff. Although I don't like hot beverages in general, which I've talked about because I'm history and I'm repeating myself. But I don't particularly like hot beverages, unless I'm like sick or I physically need something hot because I'm cold or something, which
Yeah.
doesn't happen often because I run hot. I run hot. What else do I have here, Jordy? That might be it. Oh, it's always cold season. That's in our notes. About when somebody has sniffles or something or has a cold and they tell somebody else, the other person is always like, yeah, well, something is going around right now. Because my cousin's sister's aunt's niece actually has niece, by the way, would just be the person. Has something too. They just had, I know there's something going around right now because 3 weeks ago they had a sniffle for 2 days, actually.
There's never going to be a time ever
When something's not going around.
Yeah, when somebody's like, I've got a cold, and somebody else is like,
Really?
what? How?
Oh my gosh, I
But-
thought we were past cold season.
It's perfect out. No, it's always, well, You know, there is a little bug going around.
There is. And also the people who last year, or like when we started to learn about COVID, like the novel coronavirus, like around like the spring time or so, April, May, so many people, well, I actually think I had it back in like January. Do you remember? I was really sick. I was really sick for like a week. Yeah, I didn't know, but I think it was COVID. I think it was. So I already had it. People trying to like elevate their people elevating their status.
I do remember having a headache. Did you lose your smell or your taste? No,
but I don't know. I was pretty beat. I was pretty exhausted. People always want to elevate their status by saying they have something or they endured something or whatever. It's not elevating status, but you get what I'm saying. People love to be like, actually, me.
It's like the attention of it.
Yes.
I had to take a test the other day because I was going to North Carolina, and I was kind of, I'll be honest with you, I was kind of a little nervous because I was going through a little bug. And
actually, something is going around.
But yeah, I had a little cold. And I got the test while having that cold, which I think is actually normal. When people feel sick, they'll go get the test just to make sure and stuff.
Oh, sure. Make sure it's not that. Yeah.
I'm home all the time, so I don't do anything. So like, whatever. Anyway, I was going to where this was required, and I got the test, and it was negative, so that was good.
Let's go.
Going to Florida tomorrow.
Christmas. Oh, really? Yeah. What part?
Fort Lauderdale. Pompano Beach, actually.
For pleasure?
Yeah. Family vacation.
Cool. Is the extended family going?
Yeah. Yeah, we've got
the in-laws and such?
Yeah, my sister, her husband, and 4 kids.
Oh,
my brother,
your
and
side.
Katie. Yep.
Okay, cool.
I love how I say my brother and then I say Katie. and then my fam. So 14 of us.
Cool, man. Yeah. Rolling deep. How many days?
8.
How many nights?
8.
So you either get there at night or you leave at night, something, in order to make that make sense. 8 days and 8 nights.
8 days and 9 nights.
There you go. Well, that's all I've got. Man, I really liked episode 42 with Will Woodington. We should almost have... Sometimes I daydream about a scenario where he is my permanent like co-host, where he's on.
Yeah.
I said I daydream, dude. I daydream. He lacks the commitment. I'm just kidding.
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't lack the commitment, but a third person to coordinate a schedule with a third person, nope. We're not going to do it, dude. Because you and I share the same mind. We don't share the same schedule, but we share the same commitment, the same level of sweat equity in this thing. We're just equal partners.
You remember what I told you, and it was that we cannot have a guest until a certain amount of episodes.
I remember you said that.
We've hit that certain amount of episodes.
Yeah, it's
you can
nice.
have as many guests as you want.
I have a friend, Jim Bug, here who I want to have on sometime. He's got an amazing vocabulary.
Really?
It's exceptional. It's truly. He's got quite the vernacular. But he's a pretty special guy. So I'll have him on sometime. Plays guitar for a living. Really good. And he works for this company, Ranger Station. Have you ever heard of Ranger Station?
No.
They make like nice candles. This one is leather and pine. It's the best smelling candle I've ever had in my life.
Man.
It smells so good.
Have you ever been to TJ Maxx to get candles?
Yeah, that's a life hack.
I feel like that's the spot, dude.
Hate saying life hack. That's such a corny term, but it's true. In that instance, that is the spot for candles.
Yeah. We learned about this maybe 5 years ago or something, and
get like $40 candles for $10 or less.
Yeah, man. And they're all like unique like that. It's not like French vanilla. It's like,
right.
Yeah, it's like amber and whatever.
Tomato basil. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tomato basil candle. But stuff like that, though, for real. Speaking of tomato basil, I'm having pizza tonight. I'm having pizza tonight. I'm having pizza tonight.
I'm having pizza. I had pizza for lunch.
Having pizza tonight.
Want to hear a funny story real quick?
Yeah.
I went downstairs before this podcast to grab a quick one, and
Nice.
I got mad flashback, like nostalgia of bad, because Monica had made Blakely chicken nuggets and she had made Jude cinnamon toast, but together the smell that it had was
Lunchroom.
nope. It was the frozen kid dinners that you would pick up at like Kroger,
Yeah.
where like my mom would get like a Stouffer's pasta and she would get me the kid box frozen thing with the penguin on it.
Yes, with the penguin. Yeah.
And
yeah,
you would have chicken and then a side of corn and then a side
applesauce
of
at
apple.
10,000.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
like the apple slices with the cinnamon, like whatever that country apple thing is.
Yeah. And it would all be baked together though, and so the apple or the applesauce or whatever that is would be so hot. It would just be piping
The
hot.
brownie would be like boiling over.
Yeah. Yeah, for
man.
real.
So anyway, I went downstairs and it smelled like that because of the
It brought you
mixture
back.
of food. Yeah, it was funny.
We've talked about that before. The part of your brain that stores a lot of your memory information is right next to the part of your brain, the olfactory cortex that registers your smells. There are a lot of connections, physical brain neural connections between your memory and your smells. They're next door neighbors on your brain, on the surface area of your brain.
Crazy.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it is.
It makes so much sense as to why you can smell something and boom, it takes you like back in time.
Yeah,
Whoa, I didn't even remember that I remembered that. You
for
know,
sure.
so true. I get those.
Perfume.
Like perfumes like that. Just certain things. Kind of like whatever smells you have associated with memories. I'm ready to wrap up though. Are you? Do you want to keep talking, or should we button it up?
Good.
Like there's a phone call, by the way. So are you good?
Don't
I
know
gotta
what to
actually
say, so you asked the question.
Yes. I didn't know what else to say. But thanks, guys, as always, for listening to the Stouting Off podcast, episode number 43. Like I said at the beginning of the episode, shout us out on Instagram, subscribe, share, like, DM on Instagram. Would love to dialogue with you about what you're liking, what you're not liking. Actually, don't tell me what you don't like. No, actually do, because constructive criticism is good. But I'll take it personally. Even though I shouldn't. It's something that I'm working on. But anyway, without further ado, thanks as always for listening to the Stouting Off podcast, where we spout off everyday chit-chat about the important things in life. Yeah. Bye-bye.